Well, it probably goes without saying that I enjoy cruising, but arguably one of the biggest criticisms of the cruise industry is how much pollution the ships produce. Could this vessel be the answer? Let's talk about it next. Thanks so much for joining me today. Well, a study by the Marine Pollution Bulletin states that one large cruise ship can have a carbon footprint larger than that of 12,000 cars. So, what are cruise lines doing to address this? While many cruise lines have taken steps to reduce waste by using more recyclable materials, as well as reducing the use of single source plastics such as straws and cups. Also, most ships have or are in the process of installing advanced wastewater treatment systems that thoroughly clean the waste and treat the water so that it can be released into the ocean without adversely impacting marine life. In January of this year, Cruise Line International Association, abbreviated CLIA, stated that 77% of ships had installed these advanced wastewater treatment systems, but that only addresses a portion of the environmental impact. So that picture I showed at the very beginning of the video looks like a very futuristic design, but ships like this could be the reality much sooner than you think. This is a rendering of a ship by the cruise line Hurtigruten that they say will launch by 2030. It will be named C0 and it'll be a zero emission vessel that could convince other lines to follow suit. The C0 will have a capacity of 500 passengers and 99 crew members and will be powered by a 60 megawatt battery pack that can be charged while the ship is in port. So this got me wondering how many ports worldwide are able to operate on shoreside electricity. According to a recent report by CLIA, only 29 ports are equipped with shoreside electricity. That's less than 2% of the world's ports. Now, Hurtigruten sails primarily in Norway and the British Isles, so perhaps there are several of those ports that offer shoreside electricity. Most ships are powered by diesel, but even with that, when a ship is in port and is able to tap into onshore electricity, it cuts air pollution by up to 95%. So why don't more ports offer shoreside electricity? Well, I'm guessing it's cost. But there are ports who are willing to make the investment. For example, Port Everglades in Fort Lauderdale completed a feasibility study last year to install shoreside electricity at their 8 berths. Their hope is to implement this in phases at a total cost of $160 million. Likewise, the Port of Miami is in the process of installing 5 shore power systems with the plans to complete this project by the end of this year. The Port of Seattle already has 2 piers equipped with shore power, and they have plans to implement it at all of their berths by the year 2030. They estimate that this will save 18 metric tons of fuel from burning each year, while reducing 57 metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions per season. So all of this is great news for improving pollution at ports, but what about while the ships are sailing? Several newer ships, including Royal Caribbean's new Icon of the Seas, are utilizing alternative fuels such as liquefied natural gas. Proponents of this fuel cite that it has nearly zero sulfur and particulate emissions while reducing greenhouse gas emissions by 20%. Critics of liquefied natural gas say that it poses greater risk for methane emissions, which traps heat in the atmosphere, contributing to climate change. So what's the best way forward? Well, back to Hurtigruten's C0. In addition to battery power, it will be equipped with 3 retractable wings. When open, they will harness the power of the sun with over 16,000 square feet of solar panels. They also have plans for a mobile app that will enable passengers to track their own water and energy consumption while on board. While the C0 will be much smaller than the ships that the major lines operate, I truly hope it will be successful and serve as an impetus for cruise lines to make changes in the design of new ships, as well as finding ways to retrofit existing ships. CLIA states that 15% of ships entering service in the next 5 years will be equipped with battery power or fuel cells that will allow for hybrid power generations. They've also stated that they have a goal of achieving net zero carbon cruising by the year 2050. And I, for one, am here for that. Thank you so much for watching today. I really appreciate it. I hope this information was helpful or informative in some way. If it was, I would truly appreciate you giving this video a like, and I certainly invite you to subscribe to join the Making Waves family. Thanks so much for watching.